twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Before I say anything, I just want to introduce the other members of the town board who are here. Just want to introduce the other. No. Can you hear now? Okay, so the sound system isn't working. How about this mic? Is this mic working?
Yes,
Your
yes.
mic?
That mic is, but it doesn't
Okay.
help.
I don't know what to tell you, folks.
Speak loudly.
Well, at any rate, I'm going to introduce the members of the town board. We have Deputy Supervisor Elise Motel. You working now? Okay. John Buckley. There we go. Deputy Supervisor Elise Motel, Councilman John Buckley, Councilman Robin Stout, and Councilman Michael Wolfenson could not be here today, but we all welcome you and thank you for coming. We are proud to be here today to dedicate the town of Newcastle's new gazebo. The original gazebo was constructed 20 years ago, the realization of the vision of Mr. Mort Ross, an instrumental music teacher in the Chappaqua School District, who chaired the Gazebo Committee back in 1991. Carol Halperin, who was then chair of the Arts Council of Newcastle, and the other members of the Gazebo Committee. These visionaries of 2 decades ago wanted nothing more than to provide a forum for musical performances as well as a focal point for town events. The town board gave a great deal of thought before deciding to replace the original structure. The gazebo was a beautiful and welcoming symbol of Chappaqua, recognizable all over town. It was only after the serious deterioration of the substructure was determined that the decision was made to construct a new building, one as charming as the original, but that would be positioned close to the sidewalk to help provide the kind of synergy and outdoor charm that was recommended in the placemaking strategy report that was prepared by the Project for Public Spaces back in June of 2007. That report, which recommended, among other things, the creation of a farmer's market at the train station lot, which will be back next week. And it also encouraged the establishment of the plaza at Marion Place next to Citibank. It noted that providing public spaces that are rich with a variety of uses encourage people to linger in the downtown, and with better places for congregating and socializing, downtown Chappaqua becomes a more vibrant, thriving place to be. As you can see, we are working to enhance the stream adjacent to the gazebo. It has long been stagnant and in need of improved landscaping and removal of invasive species. We hope to continue those improvements throughout the fall. Our Department of Recreation and Parks annually schedules summer concerts here at the gazebo, and they have attracted multi-general audiences from far and wide. They are constantly seeking new activities for the use of the gazebo, and we invite all of the talented members of the community, especially the many young people who have bands and musical groups of all persuasions, to contact Town Hall and request use of this venue for their performances. The town community has come together many, many, many times at the Gazebo over the past 20 years for entertainment, for togetherness, and probably most meaningfully, right after 9/11, 2001. The Interfaith Council brought us all together to mourn our collective losses and to pray for strength to get us through the most painful time of our collective lives. We have much to be grateful for, and today we honor Mr. Mort Ross for his vision and dedication to the betterment and enhancement of all the lives of our Newcastle residents. Thank you very much. We are now going to have a musical selection performed by Eric Drucker, clarinet, and Diane Splatalny, flute. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank the Recreation Commission. Mr. Martin Hewitt, who is the chair this year, is here, and I'd like to welcome you. We'd like to thank Martin and John Ray, the past prior chair, and the other members of the Chappaqua, the Newcastle Recreation Commission. Martin, you want to just come up for a moment? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. It's my pleasure to be the chair of the Newcastle Rec and Parks Commission this year, and thank you actually for the vision of Mr. Ross. I actually grew up in Chappaqua, and Brad Ross, his son, is a high school classmate of mine, so it's also been great to get a chance to catch up with him today. Very briefly, I'd love to thank the support of the town board and Bob Schneider and his team in putting together this new gazebo. It's a wonderful addition to our town. The old gazebo was great. This one is a great addition after the fact. It's really terrific that we're able to reclaim what we used to call, I guess, unusable land or unused land for another pocket park in town. So these little areas that attract folks and give the town this nice small town feel that I grew up with here is a terrific addition. So the rec board thanks the board again, and we look forward to many years of terrific use of this gazebo. Barbara, thank you.
And now I'm going to introduce Rita Ross. Is Mort Ross's wife, and instrumental in all these years of working with him to accomplish everything he has accomplished. So with that, let's give Rita a big hand.
Firstly, I want to thank Madam Supervisor Barbara Gerard, Town Board, the Recreation Commission, for giving us this beautiful gazebo. This was and is a dream come true. If we didn't have the first gazebo, we wouldn't have this one. Some 30 years ago, in our travels, Mort was always fascinated with the gazebo structure that was in every small town that we encountered. And he said Chappaqua was going to be the next focal point for a gazebo. After years of research and finding the proper location, we finally had the go-ahead sign. However, the cost was a factor, but with the financial help and assistance from many local townspeople, I don't see too many here today, but I'll just name a few. Sandy Buetti, Mark Toulis, who was the supervisor at that time, Carol Halprin and the Arts Council, and Builder Corrado Ragazzo, who contributed his services. Also Chappaqua, the Chappaqua Rotary Club, and of course Gabby and Louise Rosenfeld. It came to fruition, and that dedication was in 1991. Now, once again, we hope that this lovely gazebo will add to the vibrancy and enthusiasm of Chappaqua and will be enjoyed by all for many years to come. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce my son, who was a year and a half when we moved to Chappaqua, and now lives in New York City, but always returns to Chappaqua for Memorial Day parades and for events like this, especially today. Okay, Brad Ross.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll make these words brief. If you ask me, does Mort Ross deserve the honor of having the Newcastle Gazebo dedicated to him? I would say, of course. He's my dad. He's lived here for 52 years. It's better than giving him a wristwatch. And there's going to be a dedication ceremony too. I'd say great, that'll get him out of the house. He spends far too many Saturday mornings at home. Come on, let's go downtown. You need the exercise. They're naming the gazebo after you. Get dressed. Seriously, this lovely structure is more than a floor and ceiling. It represents Newcastle's commitment to its citizens, giving them a public space to lecture, speak, sing, dance, and make music, and thus inspire, enlighten, and entertain everyone who happens to be within earshot. Like Barbara, I came up to Chappaqua shortly after 9/11, and there was a large gathering here. A touching ceremony was held with speakers, singing, and a regiment of bagpipers that allowed all of us to share in that tragedy. The gazebo became the focal point of that event. And happier occasions have also happened here. We've heard the Chappaqua Orchestra play, and I'm sure you've all heard or will hear just about any other style of music performed on this stage: rock, jazz, pop, vocal, country, and bluegrass. You see, the gazebo is the best kind of structure to have in a democracy. The gazebo doesn't place a judgment on what we hear, it just allows us to hear it. And that's a wonderful thing. Without the gazebo, we wouldn't have an outdoor place to assemble together. And in this high-tech age where it's only too easy to stare at a screen or text a message, the gazebo gives us a place to come together, to gather together as a community, as family, and as citizens. Mort Ross loved to give people the opportunity to become involved with the arts. He wanted kids to learn an instrument in the elementary school so they could keep playing that instrument the rest of their lives. He wanted adults to take pride in their personal music making because making music is a wonderful way to enrich your life. Mort wrote his master's thesis on 3 paintings done by the medieval painter Matthias Gruenwald and how those paintings impacted the composer Paul Hindemith's symphony Mathis de Mahler. You see, Mort has always loved the way different art forms can coexist and influence one another. Painting influences music, music influences dance, dance influences sculpture, sculpture influences architecture. One of Mort's deepest memories was an appearance by the great modern dancer Martha Graham, who performed with the Louisville Symphony that Mort was playing with at the time. When I was in high school at Greeley, and I went through Roaring Brook, Greeley, Bell, and Greeley, Mort was so proud that there was a class offered there called Humanities. This was a class he wanted me to take which discussed the arts as they related to philosophy, literature, and history. Of course, I took it and enjoyed it enormously. Mort loves that the arts can be shared and enjoyed by all. This gazebo allows us to share those arts, just as Mort shared his love of music by teaching it in the Chappaqua Public Schools for 25 years. From this stage, we can sing, dance, speak eloquently, and hold our heads high. Mort loves having his family together because togetherness always means a lot to him. And here we are together because of this gazebo. Thank you, Dad, for this gift, and thank you, Newcastle and Chappaqua. May we all enjoy it for years to come.
That was really wonderful. That was terrific. We're just about closing on the ceremony this morning. I invite everyone to see the plaque that is at the base of the gazebo over here, sort of in line with where the flag is, when you get a chance. We do have a certificate to give to Mort, dedicated to Mort Ross, whose vision resulted in our first gazebo constructed in 1991, and it has a picture and the date on it.
Well, this is part of Chappaqua contribution to me too. I took the kids skiing and they fell. But looking ahead, I do want to say that the town was helped so much by Carol Halpern and the group of people for the arts in Chappaqua, and we hope it'll be enjoyed, and these are the things we hope to project for. Its purpose would be to enrich the cultural environment in our community by providing an added medium for the enjoyment of many diverse activities, such as concerts by school groups, the Chappaqua Chamber Orchestra, and invited musical organizations like the West Point Band, Glenn Miller Band, and the contemporary groups. Also plays and poetry readings by the Chappaqua Drum Group and other similar organizations. It could be used very effectively for art exhibits, dance programs, lectures, and the Najib Performance Day for Community Day. During the Christmas and Hanukkah things, caroling and reading get-togethers by various congregations. The starting point and awards local for the annual Ragamuffin Parade, the annual Dog Show, sponsored by the Recreation Commission, a debate center for candidates to use and audiences to gather during local elections and special voting issues. Auto auction site for various police and fire department benefits, plus many other exciting activities. The Arts Council will sponsor its construction, however, once it is built, the Recreation Commission will be responsible for its maintenance, supervision, and the coordination of events. There were some wonderful local people that did contribute ideas for the architectural aspect of it. But I think that's something we can be proud of. A community is known, judged, and ultimately loved for its worthwhile focal points that convey a sense of the people who live here, their interests, their hopes, their culture. We think that this gazebo will say good things about us now and in future years as well. It will say that we cared about the arts and community involvement, activities that can do much to enhance the lives of people. Lots of love to Chappaqua.
We appreciate everyone who came out this morning. We appreciate not having rain. And thank you so much. Please, if you haven't had breakfast yet, the Chappaqua Breakfast is right across the street at St. Mary the Virgin. It's going on right now. Have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you again.
I'm Carol Halpern, and this was a dream that we had, and Mort and I and the Arts Council worked very, very hard to build the original gazebo. And we raised the money and down the site, etc. And I'm very happy for Mort. I think he's deserving of this honor, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you very much. Would you like to say something or add a few words? Would you like to say some, add a few words, or like your time in the?
Well, it was real gratification that we appreciate.
I know there's decades of people who had you as a teacher and still remember you.
And we hope that they'll use it. Chappaqua will benefit.
Thank you. Thank you very much.